My name is Lauren McPherson. I'm a grade 11 student in Mr. Mackenzie's English class at Oak Bay High. Our class has been studying one of Shakespeare's most famous and popular plays, Macbeth. This is a tragic play that tells the story of a Scottish general named Macbeth, who is given prophecies by 3 witches, which all come true. At first, Macbeth was encouraged by his wife to kill the King of Scotland in order to obtain the crown. After killing the king, Macbeth's ambition drives him to commit more murders and become evil. The events that unravel within the play show Macbeth's ambition and hunger for power. Throughout this unit, we have reflected on how ambition is the driving force of the play.
William Shakespeare's birthday is unknown, but he was baptized on April 26, 1564, in Stratford-upon-Avon, Warwickshire, West Midlands, England. Although there is no evidence to prove it, it is believed that Shakespeare was educated at the King's New School in Stratford, England. Shakespeare was an English poet, playwright, and actor in the Elizabethan era. When he was 18, he married a woman named Anne Hathaway, who was 26 at the time. The two had 3 children together, Susanna, Judith, and Hamnet. Hamnet died of unknown causes at the age of 11. Shakespeare left few historical traces until he hit the London theatre scene in 1592. Around 1585, he began his successful career in London. Shakespeare wrote most of his well-known work between 1589 and 1613. His early plays were primarily comedies and tragedies, and are thought to be some of his best work. Around 1608, he wrote mainly tragedies such as Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, and Macbeth. Shakespeare was a part owner of a playing company called Lord Chamberlain's Men, later known as the King's Men. Shakespeare wrote many different kinds of plays, such as tragedies, comedy, political, and more. His plays were performed at the Globe Theatre, which opened in 1599 and was the first theatre in London to be built by actors for actors. His play, Julius Caesar, was one of the first to be performed at the Globe. When writing his plays, Shakespeare used sources such as the Bible and Holinshed's Chronicles of England, Scotland, and Ireland. It seemed to be that he retired to Stratford around 1613 at the age of 49. Shakespeare died 3 years later. The quote, "She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this pretty face from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lightened fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing." Is Macbeth's well-known denouncement of life and shows how he discovers the complacency in human behavior and ambition. He states that he knows that she would have died in the later days. Macbeth also seems to think that life is not worth living, but has too much pride to lose to his enemies. By the use of Macbeth's words, struts and frets, we are showed Macbeth's contempt for human life. I believe that Macbeth got so lost in his ambition that he could not see what was coming for him. Also, I do not think that he entirely thought about how his actions were affecting him and his family until after his wife's death. At first, Macbeth was unsure about killing anyone in order to get what he wanted, and Lady Macbeth had the opposite feeling. As the play went on, their roles switched, and Lady Macbeth started to go crazy knowing what the two of them did. The act of Lady Macbeth killing herself showed that the ambitious path they both went down was too much for her. This soliloquy is such an important statement because it is when Macbeth starts to reflect on what he has done and sees that ambition can be a dangerous thing, and he starts to be resentful towards life.